In this topic, we move beyond building Azure HSMs to proving they're secure in day-to-day use. You'll learn how to collect, analyze, and act on HSM activity logs to support security monitoring, incident response, and compliance for both managed and dedicated HSM. You've already gone from understanding HSMs and cryptography to choosing the right Azure services to actually building secure managed and dedicated HSM environments. Now we're shifting from design and deployment into day 2 reality: monitoring, logging, alerting, and gathering operational evidence that shows how those environments behave over time. HSMs guard your most powerful secrets, so you can't treat them as a black box. Logging and monitoring make their behavior observable. That visibility lets you detect misuse, investigate incidents, and prove to auditors what actually happened. Just as important, it confirms your controls work in real life, turning a secure design into secure daily operations. When you monitor an HSM, you're really watching 4 things. First, the entire key lifecycle: creation, import, rotation, backup, recovery, and deletion, because any gap here can break confidentiality or availability. Second, who can do what: roles, access policies, and configuration changes. Third, failed or denied actions that signal misuse or probing. And finally, the volume and pattern of cryptographic operations, which can reveal abuse or unexpected workloads. Think of a key's lifecycle as a chain of high-value events. When keys are created or imported, you validate names, owners, algorithms, and usage, so nothing unapproved enters the system. As keys rotate, you confirm governance and rotation schedules are actually followed. Backups and restores must be logged as high-impact admin actions. Finally, deletion, recovery, and especially purge attempts should trigger alerts and review, because they directly affect control and availability. Access monitoring is about continuously answering 3 questions: who is trying to use the HSM, what they're allowed to do, and whether their behavior matches that intent. Track role changes in managed HSM and Azure permissions, especially for admins and break glass accounts. Treat failed or denied operations as high-signal events. Correlate those failures with Entra ID sign-ins and conditional access, so suspicious patterns surface quickly and can trigger investigation or automated containment. In HSM environments, cryptographic operations should form a predictable pattern. Start by establishing baselines by workload, identity, time of day, and operation type. Encrypt, decrypt, sign, verify, key wrapping and unwrapping, even key release. Then watch for deviations: sudden spikes, unusual source networks, or activity outside business hours. Combine metrics with detailed logs so you can catch performance issues, throttling, and potential abuse before they impact security or reliability. Azure Monitor is your central pipeline for HSM telemetry. Diagnostic settings define exactly which audit logs, metrics, and operational events are captured, and where they go. For HSM resources, you typically stream data into a log analytics workspace for querying, a storage account for long-term retention, and possibly an event hub or CM for near real-time alerting. Always verify logging immediately after deployment, then enforce it with Azure policy so coverage can't be removed or misconfigured by accident. Think of your log destinations as different tools for different jobs. Log Analytics is your interactive workspace: rich queries, alerts, dashboards, and fast investigations. Storage accounts are your archive: cost-efficient, durable, and ideal when you must keep immutable evidence for many years. Event hubs handle streaming. They push data into Sentinel, other SIEMs, or custom analytics. Most mature environments combine all 3, then tune retention to match regulations, contracts, and internal policy. KQL is your microscope for HSM activity. You can filter by time range, operation, result, identity, and source IP, then narrow to risky events like failed authorization, key deletions, or purge attempts. From there, summarize by user, app, or key name to see who's doing what and where failures cluster. Once a query is useful, save it and reuse it for dashboards, workbooks, and alerts, so investigations start already filtered and focused. Treat these queries as reusable investigation recipes. First, failed access queries tie identities, IPs, operations, and keys together. That shows whether someone is simply mistyping a password or systematically probing sensitive keys. Next, destructive action queries watch for delete, purge, backup, or restore. Those are high-risk moves that demand quick validation. Finally, volume and role change queries reveal spikes in cryptographic use and who gained access right before they happened. Alerting is the bridge between raw logs and real response. Decide which events truly matter. Purge attempts and key deletions are usually critical, while repeated failed authorizations might be high priority. Then assign a severity based on business impact and environment, and route each level to the right channel or team. Treat thresholds as living settings. Use baselines, false positives, and incident reviews to continuously tune and reduce noise. Microsoft Sentinel turns HSM logs into part of a bigger security story. You stream HSM events into log analytics alongside Azure and other data sources. Now you can correlate key generation, key use, or admin actions with Entra ID sign-ins, privileged role activations, conditional access decisions, and network or endpoint activity. Analytics rules, workbooks, and incidents then drive investigations, generate alerts, and give you a centralized, searchable history for audits and compliance. HSM monitoring only works if it's woven into everyday routines. Assign named owners for log configuration, alert tuning, incident triage, and evidence collection. Set predictable review cycles for privileged access, key lifecycle changes, and failed access attempts. Define playbooks for destructive key actions, suspected compromise, unusual crypto volume, and logging gaps. Then use dashboards and periodic reports as proof. This is how you demonstrate effective control to security, risk, and audit teams. You've now built a complete monitoring pipeline for Azure HSM. Collect rich activity logs, analyze them in log analytics, and trigger meaningful alerts. Then, feed that data into Sentinel or your SIM to see HSM events in full context. Next, we'll apply governance best practices and highlight common operational mistakes to avoid.